welcome to this very special edition of Young Turks. It's a Young Turks-Newsmaker 2016, and no prizes for guessing because I think most of us know who it is. It's Vijay Shekhar Sharma of Paytm for very obvious reasons. There's no one who's dominated the headlines, at least in the last 45 days, like you and like your startup, Paytm. So let's begin this conversation, Vijay, with going back to November 9th. November 8th, 9 p.m. when the Prime Minister made the announcement regarding the note ban on 500 and 1,000 rupee denominations. What were you doing at that point of time? How did you get the news, and what did you do immediately after? Run us through those 24 hours.
First of all, thank you so much, and I think as a startup it is great to be talked about, but not that great to be talked that much about. So it's sort of a mixed bag from our side. On December 8th, I was in Bombay, and a few days back I had flew to Bombay because Delhi was so polluted, incidentally, and I remember that it was tough to be in Delhi, so I was in Bombay on weekend, and on 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. as we are talking about, I was surprisingly accepting an award for a disruptive startup from a news magazine.
Okay.
And that means that I was in an audience where phone calls were ringing for everyone, and some of them who had the phone on zero ring didn't bother. But after picking the award, I said, let me see what is happening, and maybe congratulatory message would have come or so on. But I found that there were the numbers which were more belonging to media people and more numbers which I did not know. And expectedly, as a ritual, I went to the WhatsApp group and saw what is, and there were like hundreds of messages, and the answer was that Prime Minister has banned 100, 500 and 1,000 notes. And I was sitting next to Mr. Goenka of RPG, and I was like, do you know this? We just reading something here.
Okay.
He said, what is it? Then we tweeted, when we went to Twitter, figured out, and then I cannot tell you since that point what has happened.
It's been a roller coaster.
It's been a roller coaster. I believe we are still going in the day one. It's such a long day.
Okay.
We want our day to complete, and in the single day we want to do so much. That's how I look at it.
So, I mean, did it take a while for the penny to drop and for you to even realize what the magnitude of that announcement would mean for Paytm? Clearly, I'm sure you got your core team together very soon, because within 12 hours of that announcement, there was a full front page ad across publications. There was advertisements that came out on radio, across magazines, on the web. So tell us what happened. How did you get, what was like the initial reaction?
Correct.
Did you understand the magnitude of what was happening?
So as soon as I heard this, first of all, I wasn't like, what
did you calculate how much money you have?
No, first of all, I don't have cash. By the way, Paytm has been built because I'm a customer of a digital cash, and I just forget my wallet if I'm carrying one, or I do not have cash.
All
so
right.
I'm actually the correct person for building it. Now, the first thing that I was thinking was that, does it mean that people will be allowed to do digital, and is that the only thing that will go for? And in our company, we have a writing on the wall that says, speed is our bet on the market.
Correct.
And for a startup, I believe the best thing that they can do is the speed as a differentiator from anyone else. So for first hour, after talking to everyone and giving media bites, the thing in the middle, I was taking the award and I was with my family, so I was going out and I called my marketing team and I said, Shankar, I think we should do an ad. And he says, yeah, Vijay, we are preparing one. I said, that's cool. I did not know. Oh, we just added you in a group called Urgent Ad. And will you see the copy that we've written? And in that ad copy, obviously, there was a lot of conversation around how sponsors of payments in India or digital or whatever, I think. And I said, no, this is not that. This is a movement to acknowledge that it has been the biggest step taken by any government for moving the digital, because what will happen in next few days will be that everybody will scramble towards how to pay, how to accept payment, and people like us, like wallet and payments companies, will be the most important players in next few days. So I think the first line I quoted that there was, this is start of a golden age of fintech in this country. And it absolutely is. Remember, payment is an early step. It'll generate financial services starting from banking and then the wealth management and loans and so on. Remember, this is not a payment heyday. this is just today and tomorrow and yesterday. But tomorrow onwards, there is so much more that is going to happen in financial services in this country. If the last 5 years see as an e-commerce sort of boom, I can tell that next few years will be fintech boom in this country. So talking to the team, and they were already making an ad, and then next day we were there. By the way, I won't tell you, we were targeting about 10-12 newspapers, and finally, because of many reasons that we couldn't make the ad in time, we only got 3 on the day one, but day after we picked up everyone else.
Okay, all right. So that was, I'm going to pick up something that you said, which is that this is the beginning of an era of fintech, and this is just the beginning. So let's talk a little bit about payments, the wallet business, and where you see this going.
Yes.
As Paytm, would you say that this particular movement has now focused your attention more on the wallet business than the e-commerce business? So let's start by talking about that, because everything given and done for the last 2 years, Paytm was largely e-commerce.
One of the things, we always had a confusion. People had a confusion like
whether is it e-commerce, is it marketplace, is it payment, is it wallet? And will you thank the government for actually giving you that focus now?
I think the answer had come in this year summer actually, where we in the board had decided that we will move our payments business, because we had got payment bank, so we will take the wallet also and everything into Paytm Payment Bank, and the commerce will be the one that will remain in the 197 business. Okay. So sort of in a way, and we have investors in Alibaba, so we took a call that Alibaba will become a primary partner in in commerce business, and payment will become a payment bank where I'll be the primary shareholder, and it'll be carved out into a Indian domicile company. Okay. So this has happened in summer last year, and when this movement have come, we knew that we have to call ourselves a payment company, because Paytm stands for Pay Through Mobile, and the marketplace and the commerce business is being phased to a different structure. All
right. And will that now take, what life will that commerce business take?
So remember, company moves to 3 businesses. One business becomes of payment bank, where the wallet, payment, and everything related to financial services happen. And another company becomes physical goods marketplace, and the current 197 becomes a digital goods like flight tickets and O2O commerce business. So 2 commerce businesses, 1 financial services business is the 3 companies that we will become in next few months.
In next few months.
And where does the commerce go? I believe commerce business has a great opportunity in this country of becoming one of the final 2 players. And the reason I quote here is because one, our model is a marketplace. One, our model is a partnership with the sellers. And second is that we have a partner who has a long-haul partner.
Okay, correct. So since you're talking about partnerships and you brought up Alibaba, I'm going to pick up that bait and talk about that for a while. So if we had to look at some of the numbers, it's actually the commerce business that has been weighing down.
Yeah, costs.
Okay, costs, customer acquisition, we all know. The Kotak report that came out only today highlighted that the 3 biggest players were being weighed down by advertising costs. If I have the numbers correct, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, upwards of 1,500 crores
is a loss of Paytm.
Loss and spends on advertising and promotion. Now, and you've raised close to 4,000 crores so far from 5,000 crores from Alibaba.
4,800 crores.
So that still brings it in the range of 30 to 40% of the money that you've raised so far from Alibaba has already gone into this dark hole, as you can call it, of customer acquisition.
Well, let me help you understand. Technology startups are not lesser costly than infrastructure startup is.
So that's a myth. That's a myth that we've been living with for a few years. That
IT services companies are. They are an IT service company. They sell their resource at a margin. They will day one make a money. Those are not technology companies. They are technology, let's say, sweatshops. They are selling the resource called human manpower at a margin, so they'll make money. IT services companies are like a services company, like a consulting company. So they will make money obligatorily on the first contract itself.
Correct.
While when you change habits of people, when you change habit in an operating system, when you change an habit by bringing people to PC, when you change habit by people to bring on a search, and then you don't discover the revenue model for many years. Talk about Google in this case I'm talking. Facebook, when you bring the habits of consumers to publish content on a social platform and share it with each other, we are talking about the no revenue model for 5 years. Similarly, at Paytm, we are changing habit of consumers to pay using mobile phones, and we are talking about changing habit of a country which has not seen the penetration of even technology at that mass level that we are talking about.
Exactly.
So our obligation of cost is about changing the habit. You reap the dividends in longer term, but initially it is very costly. And I want to share this fact here that it is for any technology product company to expect that they will be profitable in 5 years is a rare scenario, because for the first 5 years you're actually
only building
a marketplace.
But when do these fabled network effects kick in? Okay, and I'm talking about this in terms of even the commerce business as well as the wallet business.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the 300-400 million internet users that we have right now, a large portion of them are in areas of our country that don't have access to internet. Let's be honest about that. Correct. They might have a smartphone, but most of them don't know how to use it. I mean, just teaching, my radio taxi drivers literally every day how to use their smartphone. I don't know how many Gmail accounts I've created in the last few years.
And how many Paytm accounts you would have created in the last few years?
Yes, I have created some. But that's the point. I mean, so, when are these network effects going to kick in? And what does this mean for the business in terms of the numbers? Of for how long will you keep investing this 1,500 crores an annum? For how long?
Well put. Let's first remember this. If a business does not find a moat where without marketing and advertising they can't live, or they can't get the customer to them, there is an inherent problem. And that does not hold true only for technology companies, that holds true for even brick and mortar companies. So idea is that you have to build a business which is a need of a consumer. If you have a need of a consumer will come back, and you will be having a business relationship which will have its due sustainability in the business model. Number one. Number two, at Paytm I can quote, we, if do not want to get into newer categories or acquire newer consumers, are profitable today.
Okay.
We, in a board meeting, I still remember, like the board meeting I talked about in the summer, we actually quoted this to the board, that we were running on -1% margin, which means that if we stop incremental marketing spend, which was about -3 or 4% in the total business model, we would have made 2% of cash profit. Remember one more thing, that at Paytm we make money when people buy something from us, whether it is mobile top-up or a flight ticket or bus ticket. And these different things give us different margins. For example, like in a utility you will make 1 or 2% margin, while in a flight ticket you will make 6 or 7% margin, and in a commerce you can make even 14-15% margin. So blended average Paytm works at 4.5% margin.
All right.
Among this 4.5% margin, if we just stop spending for newer category that we are launching, we actually are profitable already. So we have an ambition of investing till the time we are in the core few categories that we believe will be fundamental to give us a long-term moat, differentiated and defensible moat. Look, the word here is long-term, defensible and scalable moat. Which is what is the reason that you would have seen we got into cinema bookings, we got into flight bookings. And I quote numbers here. Within 6 months of launch, our flight bookings, we're doing more than 1 million in a month now, which is like being the top 2 player for sure in this country. Most of us might not even have a clue till the time we have consumed it, as we become a customer of it. Similarly, our cinema booking, I mean, in Bengal, we are contributing 1/5 of the box office collection in a fledgling new startup which did not have a business 5 months back. So in cinema, we are already contributing 1/5 of box office collections for large movies, and in ticketing, we are already large enough to be called number 2 in number of tickets. And I do not know why would we not want to do this, because these are the line items which will generate a lot of profit for us. So as Paytm, we have an obligation to get into more businesses. Is the money that we are spending on. As far as the core business is concerned, it actually is profitable.
All right. Okay, so on that note, we'll take a break. But on the other side, keep watching, because we're going to be talking about the Paytm Payment Bank, which is going to be, for Vijay Shekhar, the biggest business in the next year.